so-called tradwife movement. It's when a woman believes in returning to traditional gender roles, if you like, focusing on supporting their husband by raising their children, cooking, cleaning, and all of that. Now, it comes as the Duchess of Sussex and stars like Gwyneth Paltrow have been promoting this homemaking trend, if you like. That's Gwyneth topless cooking. Bit dangerous, if you ask me. But is this all having a damaging effect on feminism and the idea that women can have it all? Well, join me now is Brittany Hugelboom, the editor of Eerie, and is it fair to call...
Lorraine Kelly opens her show with that usual chirpy tone, sweet as syrup, all smiles and sunshine, like she just stepped out of a teapot. She's introducing the tradwife movement, talking about women going back to so-called traditional roles, cooking, cleaning, caring for the home. It sounds harmless on the surface, maybe even nostalgic. But then, just before handing the segment off to her guests, she slides in a little name. Meghan Sussex. Oh yes, Meghan. She says it casually, like it's no big deal, groups her right alongside Gwyneth Paltrow, as if Meghan is part of this cozy domestic revival trend, like she just woke up one day and decided to channel her energy into aprons and apple pies. But we caught it, and if you know Lorraine, and we do, then you know that little mention wasn't just small talk. See, Lorraine has never been on Meghan's side, not publicly, not on record, and definitely not when the headlines were at their cruelest. But now, out of nowhere, she's name-dropping Meghan in a flattering light, acting like Meghan's homemaking moments are worth celebrating. It's strange, it's inconsistent, but it's telling. Because here's the truth. Lorraine might not say it, but deep down, she admires Meghan. She envies that kind of freedom, that kind of resilience, that kind of power wrapped in elegance. But she'd never admit it out loud, not in a media culture that's made tearing Meghan down a sport. So what does she do? She hides it, masks it, camouflages it with commentary that's just polite enough to seem neutral. So when Lorraine says Meghan is embracing homemaking, she's not just throwing shade. She's also, however unintentionally, revealing that she sees something aspirational in Meghan, something worth watching, something worthy of attention. Because if she didn't, she wouldn't bring her up at all. But don't get it twisted. Lorraine can't fully embrace that admiration. Not in the open. Not when she spent years letting her guests tear Meghan apart while she quietly nodded along. She's played the role of the polite instigator, the one who never attacks directly but always makes room for the smear. And now, she's repackaging her commentary, dressing it up as praise. But underneath, that admiration is leaking through. Because Meghan Sussex isn't a trad wife. She's not some domestic dream girl living to serve. She's running her life, her family, and her brand on her own terms. And while Lorraine might pretend to be puzzled by that, to question whether Meghan's lifestyle means she's backing away from feminism, we see what's really going on. Lorraine wants to believe Meghan fits into a safe little box, that she can be explained away. Maybe she's just into jam now. Maybe she's not a threat. But behind that downplaying is a kind of awe, quiet, uncomfortable awe, because no matter what's thrown at her, Meghan keeps rising, keeps evolving, keeps winning, and people like Lorraine don't know how to handle that. So they dress it up. They call it homemaking. They call it maternal warmth. They say, look, maybe she's softened, but it's not softness. It's strategy. Meghan is redefining what power looks like. She's proving that you can create, nurture, and dominate without groveling for royal approval. But for the Lorraine Kellys of the world, that kind of independence is honestly just unnerving, because it can't be contained, it can't be explained away. So they try to domesticate it. They try to praise her in ways that make her seem smaller, safer, more palatable. And yes, Lorraine's done this before. The classic move, smile and nod while others drag Meghan through the dirt. Say something nice on air, then let your guest do the dirty work. It's, well, elegant sabotage. But even in her backhanded framing, the fascination with Meghan is obvious. Lorraine can't look away. She watches. She analyzes. She cares, more than she wants anyone to know. Because deep down, Lorraine knows exactly what Meghan represents. A woman who walked away from a crown and didn't crumble. A woman who refused to shrink, refused to beg, refused to play the obedient duchess. And now, instead of being destroyed by the smear campaigns, she's thriving, building, inspiring. And that kind of liberation gnaws at people who never dared to chase it for themselves. So when Lorraine starts cooing about jam jars and homemaking, don't take it at face value. It's not just a media tactic, it's conflicted admiration. She sees the light in Meghan, but she's trapped in a media culture that teaches her to shade it. That tension is all over her delivery. Every compliment feels laced with confusion. Every mention of Meghan feels like she's trying to understand how someone so vilified could still be so in control. That's why the segment feels so loaded. Lorraine doesn't know what to do with Meghan anymore. She can't tear her down. It doesn't work. But she can't lift her up either. That would be too honest. So instead she tries to reframe her. She whispers, "Maybe she's one of us now. But Meghan Sussex was never one of them, and she never will be." What's really happening is this. Lorraine envies the woman who got out, who built a new life, who didn't wait for permission. She envies the joy, the clarity, the ownership of self that Meghan embodies. And that envy, it leaks out in the weirdest ways, like pretending a freedom movement is just homemaking with a side of jam. But Meghan's joy isn't just pretty. It's political. Her success isn't passive, it's rebellious. She's using the domestic to reframe the powerful. And Lorraine, whether she admits it or not, sees that. She's watching it unfold. And some small part of her wants to root for it, even if she's too tied up in legacy media to say so. So the next time Lorraine drops Meghan's name with that half smile and feigned curiosity, don't be fooled. She's not confused, she's conflicted. She can't stop watching. And deep down, she respects the woman who chose herself over the crown. That's the real headline, whether Lorraine's morning show says it or not. And maybe that's the secret behind all the chatter, the side eyes, and the subtle digs. Meghan's story isn't just headline news, it's a mirror. It reflects the questions we all ask about freedom, authenticity, and what it really means to define your own legacy. In the end, it's not just Lorraine watching Meghan, it's all of us, wondering if we'd ever be brave enough to do the same. So as the credits roll on this morning's conversation, let's take a moment to celebrate the bigger picture. Whether you find yourself Team Lorraine, Team Meghan, or somewhere in between, there's something undeniably uplifting about watching someone rewrite the rules with a smile. Maybe today, the real takeaway isn't about picking sides, but about waking up to your own possibilities. Each day is a fresh page, just like those glossy magazine spreads or perfectly brewed cups of tea, and it's up to us how we fill it. So here's to bold moves, new beginnings, and the courage to step into the sunlight, whatever that looks like for you. Because at the heart of it all, isn't that what mornings and second chances are really for?